Okay, so we're going to be doing this little coil launcher thing. It's a soldering kit that I found on Amazon. Just kind of putting it together and reviewing it. So I'm no professional by any means, but I got the instructions up here. So let's get started. I want them to be too flat. Alright, then we have another one down here on the bottom right with the 5.1K. Now this isn't too confusing with the resistors, because there's only two of these kind of resistors, and they're packaged together. They should be. Sometimes the kit gets jiggled around. These are some hefty leads. Alright. This one, if you look, there's a small little black band on it. So I'm going to assume because of the white band on this goes with the black band on here. Looks like. Boom. Make sure they're sitting on the board for the most part. Alright, let's scroll down. We're doing LEDs now. So let's get a red LED. Alright. So right here, the instructions are just saying that the shorter leg is negative. If you also look at the LED, one side should be flat. And so, if you actually look, the flat side is actually the negative side. It doesn't look like it tells us here. The LED doesn't look like it's flat or anything either on one side. So make sure the shorter leg goes on the right side. Right, and then you get your green LED. It's the same for all colored LEDs, or all LEDs really. And then make sure the shorter pin goes on the right hole, the longer pin on the left hole. Now these trials are pretty difficult. Just pay attention to the instructions here. They do have a way they go in, but the instructions are pretty self-explanatory on how they go in. That's it for step number 4. On to step 5. This is what it looks like so far. Alright, here's this little transformer thing it's talking about. Copper's L3, copper wires are L3. Now they have blue. I'm gonna assume blue and red are supposed to be the same, so blue or red goes in the back, so it should go top to bottom, copper, black, red, or copper, black, blue. Blue and red are typically live wire things. So L3 is copper, L2 is black, and L1 is either red or blue. You stick them in these holes right here. There's 6 of them, one for each side. Alright, so my camera died. Didn't realize, so I got a few steps ahead, but not a lot. It looks like a lot, but it's not. So I'll show you what I did. First, what I did is I soldered this capacitor on. And the thing you got to look out for the capacitor is there is a white band that has minus signs on them, which is on the small leg, right? So the small leg's the minus, this band has a minus. Make sure to put that in the minus pin and the longer leg in the positive pin, especially for the capacitor. Then I just screwed on this battery box and just soldered the pins. Negative is black, positive is red. That's all I did here. And then here, I just added this. There's a few things you got to look out for I want to mention. Here on the instructions, it's really well. So, there is one side on this coil that has wires, copper wire, going to pins, right, like this. You want to put that on the side that says EMTJ36 or whatever this number says. It'll be longer than the top. The top with no wires going to the pin will just say EM coil. And so you want to do that. It's a way it polarizes. Then just add the wires. You have a set of 4 wires. You just add 2 of those wires to these 2 pins right here that are on the underneath of this board right here. You'll see them. This is what that will look like. Then add heat shrink to it. What I did to add my heat shrink to this tube is I stretched my heat shrink and then I put it around the tube and then put the tube in. The heat shrink was a little bit too thick, so I just did that, improvised a little bit, and then trim the excess. Then it just tells you how to mount it, and the mounting is very self-explanatory. So now I added the switches, and after adding the switches, I have started working on the wiring for them. The wiring doesn't look to be too bad, so we'll go through it like I did. The left wire coming out of your board you just did with the coil on it, this left wire will go to your left button prong. I haven't soldered any of these yet because I want to test this out before making anything too permanent. Then the right wire will go to, of the board, will go to K, or I mean not K, will go to B on your big board. Then the right wire of your button will go to KB on the board. So B is above the capacitor, KB is below the capacitor. Then I took the switch. Now I couldn't tell you which way the switch is, which way the switch isn't. So this is why I'm also testing it. But this middle wire goes to the top, and that doesn't matter. So middle wire goes to the top, and it goes to K in between the battery wires. Then I got to get my next wire, so now we're on the last wire steps. Okay, I see where I went wrong. It looks like this wire is actually supposed to be 2. So you only had 4 wires. So that's what I'm going to do. You guys don't have to do that, but I'm going to do that. So let me see. I'm glad I didn't solder those to the pin. You don't have to, but I'm going to once I verify it works. Okay, so this is not put together yet. I'm just putting it, but off camera I did some testing, and um, it works. The soldering worked. The project does work. So now I am just putting the housing together, which is actually proving to be a little bit difficult. So I'll keep this portion in, just in case. So you put the housing on, then you get the screw, and then the nut. I don't know how this is gonna work, because I've never done anything like this before. But you put the nut like in the side. Put it in the side, and then I guess it holds itself. Okay, here's the finished product. It took me some time to get these on. You have to put the nut in and then the screw on. Really finicky. You'll just have to do it yourself. It's hard to video. Okay, I'm on a different camera now, but as you can see, both the red and the green lights are on. Okay, then make sure I didn't put nothing in. You grab these little solid pieces right here, right? Stick it in the back. Again, the red piece is on. Then all you do is hit this green button back here and watch. You can't even see it, but it flew. Did fly, and I probably lost it actually. But yeah, that is the build, and it works. And it's actually pretty good. Don't forget to turn it off here. Here's what I was talking about, the nuts. You put them in, and then the screw, and then you screw them in. I lost a few, but it holds. Not the best design. But anyways, yeah. Overall, this kit's pretty good. It's actually decently easy to solder. Just you got to know what you're doing. So I mean, I'd give it probably 8 out of 10. You know, so pretty good. Anyways, I will catch y'all in the next soldering video, which should be coming out in about a week or two.